I've decided it's time for a brand new weekly cooking segment that I'm going to title Not a 30-Minute Meal. So this would be the first not a 30-minute meal, which will be tandoori chicken. Now, tandoori chicken, many of us are familiar with from Indian cuisine, and that is where it originates from, but it gets its name from a tandoor oven. Now, here's the only problem about that. Unless you have a clay oven in your home that gets to about 900 degrees, we're not going to be able to do that without some major remodifications to our kitchens, but we're still going to be able to work around that fact and come up with a fantastic chicken at the end of this. Now, this has some very strong flavors that are absolutely beautifully paired together, but it's going to take us a couple of days of prep to get the flavors really infused to our chicken, and the first flavor we're going to work on is going to be a garlic and ginger paste. What I'm going to do is mince up some garlic and some ginger and saute them in some hot oil until they get extremely soft. So once our garlic and ginger hit the pan, I added in quite a bit of salt, and that'll help soften it up. And once it does get soft, we're gonna mash it down with a fork to create a bit of a paste in the pan, and then we're gonna let it cool down because that's gonna be a big part of our first night while our chicken marinades. Oh yeah, I said first night, because there'll be a second night, and then we'll cook it on the third day. This is not a 30-minute meal, it's just really good food. The next big thing in this marinade is gonna be a garam masala, which is an Indian spice blend made up of the 4 C's, as I like to call them: cardamom, cumin, coriander, cinnamon, and then some black pepper. So if you can't find a pre-ground one, you can obviously do your own, and that's fantastic to do with those 4 spices. So the garam masala, some paprika, and our garlic ginger paste are gonna marinate with our chicken, which, by the way, is a skinless bone-in chicken thigh that we're gonna cut some slits into to help that marinade penetrate as it sits in the refrigerator that first night. What's with all the red food coloring in tandoori chicken, people? Really? That stuff is better known for something that rhymes with oolade than it is tandoori chicken. Now, tandoori chicken is classically known with having a bright red finish to it, and we are absolutely going to get the finish that we want. How are we going to achieve that? Well, recently I blogged about using flowers in the kitchen, and this is one of the moments where it's good to use flowers in the kitchen. I'm going to use some dried hibiscus flowers, which I've steeped in some very hot water for about an hour. Essentially, I've made hibiscus tea. That is going to give us an incredible red color to infuse our chicken with, which has been marinating for about 10 to 12 hours. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of that hibiscus water, mix that with some yogurt, a little bit of brown sugar, which will offset some of the tartness from the hibiscus water, along with the juice of a lemon. Mix that again with our chicken and let that marinate again for another 10 to 12 hours. That yogurt's lactic acid will really tenderize the chicken, along with infusing even more flavor into it. Do you have a clay oven that gets to 900 degrees? Well, if you do, don't worry about this next step at all, and what are you waiting for? Get your chicken in that tandoor. Now, for the rest of us, the other 99.9% of us that don't have one of those ovens, we've got to think about this a little bit. Our chicken has been marinating for 2 nights. Yeah, that's right. Remember, it's not a 30-minute meal, and all that flavor has been infused. But if we just took all of this and put it into a baking dish and just cooked it in the oven, we'd really be steaming our chicken, and that's not what we're going for. So we're going to suspend our chicken in midair, a little trapeze action with our tongs, and let some of the excess yogurt marinade drip off of it. Then it's going to go on top of a baking sheet that's got a wire rack atop of it. The baking sheet you can wrap in aluminum foil. That'll help with cleanup. Once all of our pieces are on there, we're gonna put it into the oven at about 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now this depends upon your oven. If you've got a nuclear hot oven, well, you may have a tandoor and you may not need to worry about any of this, but the key element here is the internal temperature of the chicken should be about 165 degrees. That's what the health people tell me to tell you just to be safe. So our chicken onto the wire rack, into the oven, 400 degrees for between 20 and 30 minutes. Now after our chicken has an internal temperature of about 165 degrees, it is time for it to come out of the oven after 20 to 30 minutes at 400. It hits the plate, I put some lemon slices in some hot oil and fried those for a little bit, and they're gonna be a great accent garnish just at the end here. You could serve this with basmati rice, a great flatbread, roasted potatoes, you name it, it will go with it. Remember, after marinating for 2 days, this chicken has incredible flavor imparted into it, and we overcame that whole not having a 900-degree clay oven called a tandoor thing, and we still made great tandoori chicken. And remember, it wasn't a 30-minute meal, it was just great food.